Hello, Bible readers. It's Wednesday, May 19th. We're reading Ezekiel 14 to 16 and Revelation 11 to 12. These chapters are an experience. Every time I'm coming to Bible readers, it's an experience, right? I mean, these chapters they require some imagination, as I had warned. Ezekiel, Yahweh accuses maybe I haven't used the word Yahweh enough, but I've typically replaced Yahweh with Lord. God, Yahweh is the Hebrew word for God. It's like a way of saying God without saying the word God. And so God accuses the exiles of idolatry, which of course breaks rule number 1. And so Jerusalem is doomed. Ezekiel uses a vine metaphor, usually a positive thing when done in the Bible, to think about usually when it's used positively, it thinks about the connectedness of God with God's people. But then Ezekiel uses this metaphor to talk about how some of the wood in a vine is used for the fire. Ugh. That Jerusalem would be destroyed seemingly challenges Israel's understanding of God and who they were supposed to be in relationship with God. Ezekiel is trying to make sense of the temple's destruction as it is a deserved thing. It is God being honoring God's promise, not breaking God's promise. That's the tricky thing that Ezekiel's trying to do here. Chapter 16 is its own little story, isn't it? Jerusalem is a rescued little girl, and then God marries this girl once she becomes a woman. The language holds nothing back. Ezekiel's just puts it all out there. But you trusted in your beauty and played the whore, consorting with other nations and their gods. Therefore, and after that, therefore, some bad things are coming. Remembering, renewal, and shame are how the chapter ends. And those are the big parts of this section of Ezekiel. Remembering, renewal, and shame. We could have interesting discussions around those words. Revelation 11, you've got the two witnesses. Here, there's a call to participate as a prophet. Not a passive spectator, but as a prophet, who, of course, a prophet is one who challenges, says unpopular things, sees unpopular things. So being a prophet will garner social costs, because it always does. Remember, prophecy is not prediction, but description. Difficult, illuminating descriptions is what the two witnesses chapter is really trying to get at. And then we get to chapter 12, the woman and the dragon. How about this for vibrant imagery? Pretty amazing. And as I was reading in my commentary, after reading this really Revelation type chapter, I came across a discussion of Satan. I'm just going to read it. Satan symbolizes that which stands between humans and the divine presence. In my seminary experience, in my study, hell is being somewhere where God is absent. Separation from God is hell. Full communion with God is heaven. So Satan would be the one who separates us from God. If that's the case, the personification of Satan as a dragon or as a serpent is simply a sign or symbol of the reality of evil. As Revelation indicates, the manifestation of Satan's power is complex. It's not like Satan's power is just made manifest truly in a dragon. It is institutional and social as well as personal. So it's not just that Satan shows up in my person, but it also shows up in our society, socially. Thus, the beast is a concrete embodiment of evil power. Evil does not take the form of a single king, but an imperial institution or a structure. It's a way of operating, and its agents of propaganda take many shapes. Likewise, Babylon is not an individual, but a city with its whole network of relationships and institutions contributing to a way of life, involvement in which John calls fornication. Revelation beckons us to broaden our horizons, to understand the scope of evil by not confining it to what we can manage. Just as it refuses to allow us to confine the horizon of hope and salvation to the individual person's destiny. The example I thought of this was racism. Yes, racism can happen personally, of course, but more nefarious, the evil of racism exists socially and with beyond individuals and into institutions, things that can't be managed or controlled by individuals. And that's what this chapter is trying to get at with the power of evil. I am one with my God. My God is with us, all of us, at all times and in all places.